right? I
Yeah,
believe, Gary. We
it
actually have
is.
a second guest and very special guest this time, man behind the curtain in a lot of ways. So we're really excited to bring him to the forefront.
Yeah, so we are now introducing Andrew Brown, DKI intern, who came to us from the University of Tennessee. For anyone who's wondering why is actually let's see if we can get him on screen here. For anyone who's wondering, why is Andrew here? Why is he talking to us? Well, it's really simple. Let's talk about some of the things that he's done, and I think it's a great point and a great inspiration for some young people. Andrew came to Deep Knowledge Investing about 2 months ago. And if any of you have noticed a gigantic increase in the amount of video production that we have coming out, a huge part of that is because of Andrew. Just 2 months in, he does the vast majority of the graphs for the five things. Every week, he pitches one or two things for me to put in the five things. Every week, we take one or two of them. The next one we're going to talk about is one that he pitched. He's been cutting up video and producing more content, getting it posted. It is not an exaggeration to say that we are doing more work and better work because of Andrew as a firm. And on top of that, he's already at a point where he saves me hours a week of work that that's time that got freed up for me to focus on stock ideas. So for all of you young people who are wondering, how do I do this? How do I end up in a position where I'm opining? The answer is go find a place to work and then find a way to save the senior people there hours every week. Do great work, save them time, contribute, and you will be in a position like that. That's my career advice for everyone. Andrew, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. How did it go with the eclipse?
Good, good. Very cloudy here in Knoxville today, but got to see a peek of it, so good day.
All right. So let's talk about the CBO. What does that stand for?
Congressional Budget Office.
All right. And what did they say this week? Why are we paying attention? Who cares what the CBO says? I'm guessing when you were out with your friends last weekend, this was like the whole conversation, right? You guys went out for drinks, went to a
Oh yeah.
party, and we're talking about the CBO, right?
All we were talking about the whole time.
All right. Good news. So who cares? Why are we talking about the CBO?
Yeah, so they kind of released the 30-year outlook to 2054. And so what that kind of outlook's projecting is that debt to GDP will reach 166% by the year 2054. But as of today, our debt is at about 35 trillion and our kind of total economy is about 27 trillion. So that's over 100% of debt to GDP as of right now. And their kind of projection starts at 100%. But as you can see from what I just said, that's over 100% already today. So their projections as of right now, they can't even get them right as of today. And so on kind of the longer term view, they believe that it's going to increase to 166%. But here at DKI, we kind of very strongly do not believe that. And Gary has a strong stance on that. And so with that debt, it's increasing by 1 trillion every 100 days. And as that increases, so does the interest expense. And so that's a huge amount of debt and interest expense for us, the taxpayers, to be paying. And it's really kind of becoming a huge hole that it's going to be really tough to get out of. And kind of what kind of led to that is the 2008 financial crisis with a lot of company-wide bailouts. And then also more recently, 2020 and COVID, lots of government money flowing into the economy. DKI has talked a lot about that. And so those stimulus checks are really just going straight to our debt. And that's kind of how it's come to be.
Right. So the debt of the United States has doubled in the last 8 years. Um, we are at a run rate, as Andrew just pointed out, of increasing our debt by ballpark $3.5 trillion on balance sheet every year, which if you um, divide that into an economy of about $27 trillion, that's a 13% increase. Now, and by the way, it's a 13% increase in 1 year. Again, the CBO is acting like we're at 100% debt to GDP. That is not correct. That number is a lie. But if we increase that by 13% every year, it's not going to take 30 years to get to 166%. Now, some people are going to say, okay, wait a minute, Gary, but you're cheating. You're assuming the economy stays flat at 27 trillion, that there's no economic growth. Great point. We're with you, right? The denominator in this case, which is GDP, is going to increase as well. However, something we talked about, and Rob, you can remind me, this was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked on the 5 things about the fact that the increase in government debt is greater right now than the increase in GDP. In other words, government spending, which adds to GDP, whether it creates value or not, is destroying value. And so we have debt rising faster than GDP. And so they're saying we're going to go from, Andrew, where are we right now? What's the current ratio? Right?
I think we are at what?
Well, let's see. If we've got 35 trillion divided by 27 trillion, so we're at 130% right now, right? So they're saying 166% in 30 years. Andrew, the only way that can happen is if Congress cuts spending or we have an unprecedented GDP growth that this country has never seen before. So do we have, as a mature economy, growth we've never seen before, or is Congress going to cut spending? Help me out. What do you think happens?
No.
Gary, I
No.
think one point to be made too that we might want to call out. You're willing to put a pretty big bet on the GDP hitting 166% long before 2054, right?
Yeah, let's be crystal clear on this. Here at Deep Knowledge Investing, we support our people. I am so confident in the work that Andrew Brown, DKI intern from the University of Tennessee, did on this. I am prepared to put money up on this. We are going to put money up to back Andrew's claim, to back Andrew's research. So here's what I'm offering. The CBO, the United States Congressional Budget Office, is saying debt to GDP of 166% in 30 years. That's 2054. I will put $100,000 up on the under. All right. I will put $100,000 up saying we hit 166% well before 2054. If anyone listening to this wants to take the other side of it and say, no, 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 at no point before 2054 will the United States have debt to GDP of 166% or higher. Before that, let me know. We will get DKI attorney and board member Phil Kessler to write up the contract. We'll each put up $100,000 and, we'll see what's happening there. But I'm totally serious. Andrew's work on this is so right and so solid. I will put 6 figures of my own net worth up against anybody who wants to bet we hit that 166% by 2054. After, I'm going to take everything before 2054.
Incredible day. Eclipse, Shockwave takeover issue, the name of it. Gary's putting $100,000 of his own money up on a bet, and I'm backing him as well. So let us know.
By
Get
the
in the
way,
comments, agree, disagree,
yeah.
thumbs up, share it with everybody, find the taker.
Yeah, and for clarity, because it's my firm, I get the first $100,000 of action. If any of you want to bet more than $100,000 on this, we got Robb to take side. He's going to take the side action on this.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of side action going.
Right. Yeah, Robb, I'm sure we can put you down for 10 or 20K, maybe
easy.
more. So if we have more than $100,000 of takers, don't worry. We got people who would take the side action on this. Andrew, have you ever had anybody bet 6 figures on your financial research?
I don't think I have.
All right. Well,
No.
It's happening in public. This is how much we value you and your work and how much confidence we have in the analysis you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Nice job. Great work. Get back to it and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you.
All right.
Thanks, Andrew. Great stuff. I feel like we have to find something like that every week now. That really gets me going. At least the excitement level is it's